to a Robot Adventures Vlog. Children, dumbasses, stupid people, do not watch this thing. This is not made for you. And if you found that funny, then maybe it's meant for you. Today is the 18th of September 2021, and this is my second take. It's a vlog. I'm just gonna talk so you don't have to watch it. So, yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about comedy, and I like comedy, and I like cracking wise, making jokes. I like all different kinds of comedy, to understand it in its different ways, and some of it I find amusing, some of it is very predictable. That's a little bit of it's a problem with comedy. But yeah, I want to talk about that. So I made the first one. I was just rambling on and on. It went about 30 minutes, but I thought maybe I can make this one a little bit more concise. So Norm MacDonald passed away, and yeah, he passed away from cancer. He kept it secret. A lot of the comedians were shocked. You can just see a lot of people like, oh crap. He was a comedian's comedian. Not a household name, I don't think. Not a Eddie Murphy, Jerry Seinfeld, or whatever country you're in. I guess when you think of comedians, you've got like Abbott and Costello and Laurel and Hardy, and even some of the new ones, and Richard Pryor and Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah, just a whole bunch of different types of comedians, and yeah, I like watching them. I like watching them all. Some of them, started off in comedy, moved over to acting. I liked Robin Williams when I was younger, and I was like, hey, he's kind of zany on Mork and Mindy. But yeah, then it just kind of seemed like the same thing over and over and over. Zany, 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 zany. Dennis Miller, a little bit funny, but it just really obscure. Everyone's got their little bit of their, catch, their thing. Yeah, some of it's just, it's I guess the Hollywood game. And if you watch that guy who played the Get Her Done guy, the redneck guy, I forget his name, but he was Mater in Cars. His early stuff, he was like a office guy, and he wasn't even that Get Her Done character. That was just a character, and that got him famous, and he just stuck with it. And so yeah, for me, I guess Bill Cosby was also pretty big, and then Bob Newhart. Yeah, like and I've been keeping track of like what makes me laugh really hard. Like, what was the last time I laughed really, really hard? And then you got to get in the mood for it, and sometimes it's got to build up. And Brian Regan, I think he's got a brother in the game too, but Dennis Regan, I think. But yeah, he's been in there a long time. He was on Letterman a lot, and Norm Macdonald, he was the last comedian on Letterman. David Letterman, nice comedian. Yeah. Yeah, his hearing test, that really made me laugh really, really hard. Um, Brian Regan's hearing test. As you know, it was just the first time I saw it, and I thought the whole setup was kind of funny because you had to deal with being bilingual, trilingual. It's like, oh, okay, I see how that could have been obscured. Just thinking about how languages get mixed up, it's just really funny. Um, yeah, so Norm Macdonald was a couple days ago, and I remember him. And recently, there was a Sean Locke from England. Not even talking about British comedians. You know, Monty Python, the whole Flying Circus, the Stephen Fry, that whole troupe. The British comedians, they bring it in a different way. The concept is the same, but just their delivery is a little bit different, and the setup and the rhythm is different. So I like that. Yeah, Sean Locke. Yeah, funny guy. He passed away also last month in August. And another guy who would bring it was Phil Hartman. I really liked him. Another SNL guy. But on news radio, man. This is whoever wrote the what was it? The malt liquor stuff. Yeah, that was good. Just tell you stank. Just Nufus. Grizzle or it's just so stupid stuff. It's just like, oh, that's just right up my alley. I really like them. Yeah, I remember when they passed away. I was like, oh well. I mean, he was killed by his wife, but Cobain, and it was just like memorable people who passed away. Like, oh crap, that guy died, and yeah, I remember. And I was like, when I was just right here at the house, just going, oh crap, and I just got the Google News, and about an hour after, it was like, oh, an hour ago it was posted. Norm Macdonald passed away. I was like, oh shit. And yeah, so I think one thing that's maybe important is you want to punch when you're doing comedy, or I think the idea is to make people laugh, and this is my own just idea of what happens. I haven't read a paper on it, but I think you understand the premise of comedy, where you set up the situation and then they're expecting a different, like, oh, they're just a straight situation, and then you twist it. It's like, oh no, but he took something, and or oh no, but he was a leprechaun or something. And what? Leprechauns? What? You're crazy. And that point, your brain is like, what? And he's like kind of enjoying the story, and then it switches and it has to readjust, and it goes, oh, okay, and it's laughter. Your brain is like, oh, yeah. And yeah, it's kind of enjoyable just to restructure, get some new perspective, and you understand, oh, it could be this, but it is this. Ha 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 ha. So I like that. And I think to get to that point where first you have to know what is normal. And I've said this to my guildies and just my friends and stuff. You have to know what is normal, and then you play with the abnormal. Like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. You know, hey, you're a grown man. You know, PlayStation's Pink Bunny June is not supposed to make out with Robotadventures. Yum, 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 yum. You know, He-Man's Too Bad there is not supposed to get it from Thunder Rhino here. I'm not Thunder Rhino, Reuven, you're stupid. Thunder Rhino, give it to me. I got the Ninja Turtles somewhere. Bebop, Rocksteady, and Splinter, and Shredder. They're all somewhere in a bucket. But yeah. You're supposed to play with toys normally. Don't use your imagination. Okay. So yeah. So what is normal and what is not normal, and I think from the sociology people, maybe psychology people also. We have these taboos which we're not supposed to make fun of or discuss, or, you know, I don't know who says we're not supposed to do that. I mean, somebody decided, and they're not. There's no kind of universal, but there's some like really prominent multicultural taboos, like don't do this. Of course, it's not, you know, everywhere, because, you know, and some things you think might be taboo aren't taboo, like eating bugs. A whole shitload of people do that. Murder. There's a lot of murder. Hey, the government needs you to kill these other people from this other country. Hey, that's good. Oh, but that's war. That's okay. Whatever. So the three that I remember, there might be some other ones, but and these aren't universal. Like there's incest. Like that's kind of taboo. You shouldn't be giving it to grandma. Hey, come on, your grandma, and your spandex and your sexy body. No grandma stuff. Or grandpa. Hey, come here, grandpa. Let me give it to you in your spandex and your sexy body. Don't do that. Or unless you want to, and it's okay in your culture. Cannibalism. You know, don't go around eating people. And the last one, I think, is necrophilia. Getting freaky with the dead people. I think those are the three main ones that are kind of almost universal. But of course, you know, Rudy Giuliani marries his cousin, and, you know, all those European aristocracy, they are all interbreeding. And the muggles and well, not the muggles, but the purebloods, they're all into that. So once, and talking about taboos, then you start talking about, okay, so now we understand where to go and where's the line and stuff. So that leads you into the structure of jokes, and, you know, what is a joke? It's like, you know, like I said, it's like setting it up and then giving a twist at the end. Not Shyamalan, I see dead people. That's not really fun. That's just a twist, and sometimes it's like, wow, that was really dumb. But like the Aristocrats, and I still haven't made the Aristocrats joke. And you know the Aristocrats. You can Google the Aristocrats joke. What is I think the whole actual documentary is on YouTube somewhere. You can watch it. It's like an hour or something. And basically, what is the Aristocrats joke? It is a formula to make a taboo-based joke. So I won't tell an Aristocrat joke because I want to do it justice. And you can Google it. yeah. So yeah, you can set up any joke kind of like that. You can just change the variables and then just like ha ha. Yeah, it's just like it's a structure, and you just set it up and you change the characters, and you like the priest, the rabbi, and the shaman go into a bar, and then something happens, and you know, and you just change the characters like a Steeler fan, the Houston Texan fan, and an Astros fan go into a bar, and oh, what craziness happens. Um, I can't remember her name, but she was on there with John Malkovich on a British TV show, explaining, the comedy from different. I think from Thailand, was it, or from China? And they don't have. They're not at the same, I guess, vulgar level or you know insight or stand up. Um, so they're doing like simplified jokes, like, "Hey, airplane food's really bad, ha ha," ha. Or in Japan, still doing two man, straight man, funny man, the manzai kind of comedy out of the vaudevillian Abbott and Costello, Laurel and Hardy, the Smothers Brothers. They're still doing that kind of like ha 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 ha, ha. And then one guy like, "Hey, you said the funny thing." Yeah. So what Norm Macdonald did was he knew that, and he'd play with it, and he'd do it. He'd do it the way he wanted to do it, and if you told him to do it one way, he'd probably just do it the other way and bomb just to piss you off, or just because, like, no, he's Norm Macdonald, he'll do it how he wants to do it. And yeah, so you watch him when he returned to host SNL. It's like, oh, I got fired from here for not being funny. I think he got fired because he was telling too many OJ jokes, and then OJ Simpson, and then one of the producers or the higher ups was friends with OJ's like, "Hey, cut that out, you're fired, you're not funny." And then he comes back and hosts and's like, "Hey, I got fired from here for not being funny, and now I'm back. Either I got really funny or this show got real shit," or something like that. So yeah, he's like, he keeps punching up. He's punching up. Don't punch down. Don't like, hey, those homeless people, bam, bam, bam. Those sucking homeless. Yeah, that's not really funny because they're powerless, or they're not as powerful as you, and yeah. So that's not really funny. Like just obvious racist, non-truth stuff. It's not really funny. It's just like, well, okay, what is it? Are we supposed to think that's true, or do you think that's true? Like the Trump jokes, quote unquote jokes, like, oh yeah, he was just joking about injecting bleach. Yeah, that people listen to him. It's like, oh, he's just joking about whatever. Shooting sunlight into your body, or it's like, okay, yeah, that's kind of sad, and it's not funny coming from him. I don't think he's, so yeah, that's not funny. Yeah, so just a little bit I want to talk about comedy. Yeah, some of my favorite comedians, and yeah, a little bit just to remember and maybe introduce you to some of the different comedians, different styles. Check out British stuff. It's all over the place. Countdown. A lot of the TV shows with Jimmy Carr. He's like the host, and like Big Fat Quiz of the Week or the Year, and Mock the Week, and QI. I like QI. It's kind of a intellectual. It was kind of a show. It used to be hosted by Stephen Fry, but now it's the Dutch lady. I can't remember her name, but yeah, and yeah, just have fun. Maybe think of some. Try to make your own jokes. I got a couple of ideas for some skits, but all right, guys. Talk to you guys later. I'm working on 3D printing stuff. Did that for a old YouTuber. I think it's about 10 years now. And I've been on YouTube since 2007. So, yeah. Doing my non-professional stuff. Alright, guys. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Come bye.